What is up? Welcome
What's going
to
on?
episode 4 of Family Dinner.
Yes, episode 4. This is getting so every week it's like it's evolving, and then that whole little thing. I got so hyped, and I know we can't really see each other or we can't hear each other while the intro is going, but like we're both dancing, and I could see it on the screens to like the sound of that, so it made me laugh.
Yeah, not only were we dancing, I didn't realize until like we were at 3 seconds left that you couldn't hear me, and so I'm sitting over in the corner going, in the blue corner, weighing in at 200 pounds.
Yes,
I
sir.
spelled 200 pounds. Joe Capati. What is up, everybody, though? Welcome to the newest installation of Family Dinner.
Yes, sir.
Yes, Ross, the lights are back.
Yes, indeed.
As you guys can tell, Joe has been on a steady blue backdrop, and I've been moving around. You know, that's just rambling around.
Yeah, we look good, though. That's the point. As long as one of us remains consistent, I think we're okay regardless of how it goes. So
fantastic. All right, Joe will hold it down, and I'll just kind of float around.
Yeah.
But yeah, literally 5 minutes before we got live on this video, Joe texted me and said, "You good?" And I was just finishing yoga.
Did you do yoga with Tony via the video, or did
with
you
my main man Tony?
Oh man, I need to do. So I've been doing yoga at this place called Project 7. Shout out to you guys on Mills. And I literally almost started it. Oh, we're not on Instagram. That's fine. That's okay. I didn't even think about that. But I was thinking about doing Tony's just to do it with him because I missed him. I haven't done yoga with Tony in a minute, so
it was good. I felt stretched. My thing with yoga is that I can't get. I know you're supposed to do it for like the mental relaxation and like the escape, and I think that's like part of one of the main benefits of yoga. I feel like I'm always rushing into yoga, and then by the time I get to it, I'm like, all right, I'm here for the flex. I'm here for the flexibility, and I'll get to the other stuff eventually. But
for sure,
all right, I'm hungry. Let's eat.
You're hungry? Let's eat. Okay, so we're gonna start this off just like we do every week. Friends, welcome in, and it's another on this day. And on this day, it's funny. So on this day, it was actually it's the 20th, right? And so there are a lot of things going on this day. We were walking around Ireland, just exploring the world. I think later that evening we had dinner, right? We had like what did we have? We had like hibachi. You remember having hibachi in Ireland? Yeah. we had a few friends come out and greet us, and they couldn't make the show that we had played. So they came out and they ate with us, and we toured. And if you're from Ireland or you're familiar with the area, you'll know this statue. and I went ahead and took a picture of this. It was really cool. But it's the
statue of Molly Malone.
Yeah. And I thought that was super cool. And then what else happened that night? We didn't actually go to the Guinness factory, but we had like an actual pint of Guinness somewhere. Right? Did we do that? Yeah, we did that with a couple of friends.
Yeah, we went to a place that I cannot remember the name of, but apparently it was like one of the best places in Dublin.
For a pint.
And then I can't remember if we got ice cream or didn't get ice cream, but I know we walked past the super sick looking ice cream shop.
We did get ice cream. It was delicious. I remember it was really fancy. I had a picture of that too. There were like lights, kind of like the ones you have in your house, all strung up around, like above. That was super cool.
I feel like one thing that is an issue that we need to sort out on this video series / podcast is that I don't think we've made it 4 minutes into the video, any episode so far, without bringing it back to food. And like,
it's called Family Dinner. We talk about food. It's
aptly titled Family Dinner. That's right. And then Ross just said he got Jonathan and I Guinness pre-gig. I remember that as well.
Oh man.
I remember Jonathan and I went down, and you guys were in like a little booth in the corner, and we just hung out before the show. And we were like, wow, this is the true European experience. That was amazing.
So I was wondering to myself, Ross, I was thinking about you, man. I was like, I don't understand why I didn't hang out with you more on that night with Ed and John. And it was, you know what it was? I had caught what I believe to this day to be the equivalent of whatever COVID-19 is. Do you remember that? I was terribly ill. I was so sick. Do you remember that? Like that was the last show we had. And I had summoned literally the last ounce of strength just to get on stage and play. And of course, we got through the show and it was great. But like, I remember feeling like death before, during, and after. It was terrible.
You can't tell in the videos. So
no, you couldn't.
Good on you. Does Guinness taste different over there? I thought it tasted better.
I agree.
I thought it tasted better.
It was creamier. It was like it was milkier. I liked it a lot. Also, shout out to Grayson Martin. Hey, buddy.
Welcome to the family, man. Glad to have you.
You're right. Next time, Ross, for sure. So continuing on with on this day, let me see here. What else did I have? Oh yeah. So these videos have been playing around. So it wasn't technically on this day, but I did want to play a couple of shots for those of you who haven't got the opportunity. If you're not in the, let me go ahead and drop this link real quick. If you're not in the Facebook fam group just yet, go ahead and apply. It's definitely worth your time. We're fun in there. It's like an unofficial group text where we just send things to each other.
And when Joe says apply, he means click on the link and tell us if you like to party, which is a multiple choice question, and then we will let you into the group. So we call it our unofficial official text message. So we're just in there dropping messages, talking direct to people. But yeah, definitely join that if you have not yet.
Correct. But check this clip out. I know Ross. This might have been Ross taking it. I don't remember, but
decided it was time to go. Because we had to. Because I tried the best that I could to have it to hold you. In the way I know that I should, and we still be breathing, darling. If I did, then little you answer me, but I couldn't. So now we're nothing at all.
So there were like a bunch of clips I had to choose from, Ed, and even in the one Ross shared, I didn't want to post it on this because there were a couple expletives that they got thrown out. They got thrown out in the crowd. Me? Yeah, it was all you.
It sounds right. Here I am, mild mannered, but really, when that blood starts flowing.
They were tasteful, so it wasn't bad. But speaking of that blood flowing, after that show. And it was great.
That was a post-show celebration. That was a post-tour celebration. Mm-hmm. So that was awesome. Yeah, yes, one thing I realized too is that we're posting this. We've started, or we're going to start posting this as like an audio segment on Spotify. Mm-hmm. So one thing I noticed is when we're playing those clips, we got to like narrate what's going on because people can't see it.
Correct.
Just a thought for future stuff. But for sure, that was amazing. That whole thing was amazing, and that ties nicely into probably jumping the gun. But a lot of you guys have seen the "Feels Good to Be Me" video that we launched.
Correct.
Of us on the porch with the the baby blue backdrop on the piano, and it's just getting me excited because it's like this video's going. We're getting tons of messages from people saying like, "Come here, come here, come here, come here." Joe and I were like giddy beyond belief right before we hit play on this because we got an email from a cool dude in the Netherlands named Paul, who essentially I skimmed the email and I got to get back to him. We're going to do this, but essentially he wants us to get a soundbite for his radio station in the Netherlands to say like, this is the 502s and you're listening to blah, 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 which is unbelievable,
Unbelievable. We should do it. We should all do it together at the same time. Oh, you could do it. But you know what I mean? Like, it'd be funny if it was like one of those like boy band chimes in where we all say the same things.
They probably sound like garbage to me.
You're right.
1, 2, 3. No. All right. We'll go on 3.
We're pretty coordinated though. I don't think we'd be that terrible at it.
True. Not bad.
But continuing on. Besides those shows actually happened on the 18th, the 20th. We were just exploring Ireland. It was a great time. And then ensued like the next 2 days of trying to get back to America, which we won't spend too much time talking about, but we didn't get back home till like, we were supposed to be home by the 21st, which is my sister's birthday, which is tomorrow. So shout out early birthday to my sister. But we ended up getting back by like the 23rd in the morning because we had missed a flight and then they pushed us onto another flight. And then eventually we got home. But
I loved it. It was the worst trip ever, but still loved it. And because it was the end of a great, that was the worst flight ever, rather, not the worst trip, but it was great. Francis, what is up, dude? That is awesome.
Hey, glad you're here, man.
I get excited, and Joe just plays it cool. He goes, "Hey, buddy.
Welcome to the fam.
Welcome. You've arrived." What's up, dude? Glad to have you.
I also wanted to shout this out as well. Our music is everywhere while we're talking about music. Spotify, iTunes, wherever you want to be, YouTube especially. I'll drop this link in the comments as well, but a comment link to our YouTube channel. We got a lot of videos. We've been working on that and putting a lot of stuff. Like these are going to start going on there too. So if you ever want to watch those again. But what I wanted to show y'all was this playlist in specific. This playlist here, let me go ahead and turn this comment off. this playlist here got picked up this last year. The 502s played at Americana Fest in Nashville, which was a great experience. And I ended up creating a playlist, and Americana Fest themselves picked it up. And it's got all of the featured artists that played that year, as well as us, our boys Jared and the Mill. They're like the second song there. It's a great song. Check that out. But yeah, that playlist also came out this day on 2019. So I thought that was pretty cool. You can check that out on Spotify.
Nice.
For sure.
Good stuff.
You ready to move on, Ed, or you want to keep talking about how fun things have been?
We said we were going to try to keep it to 15 minutes, and we're already at 11 minutes, so we'll try to keep it to 20 minutes.
It's so hard because I don't know. Anyways, so
we're ramblers.
This subject is something that's been on our minds. We've been thinking about this for forever now. It's been months, and I wanted to do a little segment on it, and I wanted to call it the studio experience with the 502s, because we spent a lot of time working on obviously this album, making it as good as it possibly can be. And
it's unbelievable. It's unbelievable.
Could it get better than this? And I wanted to kind of step back and talk about that a little bit more, because a few years ago, this came out, obviously, and that was great. That was fun. I wasn't really here for that. So Ed, if you want to talk about what it was like recording the original album first, and then we'll go into kind of what I wanted to get into next. But how was recording Because We Had To years ago?
It was fantastic. And for anyone who doesn't know, Because We Had To is the 502's first album. Mm-hmm. And long story short, when we recorded it, we had, and we still have, zero idea what we were doing. But we essentially went in and we said, hey, you know what? We know how to play these songs. Mm-hmm. We'll go record it in 3 days. And didn't
you guys record? I remember this was all before my time, which is why I'm talking like this for those of you that don't know. But like, wasn't there an EP first recorded that had the songs, and then eventually you guys went back in and then did them the right way? Like, I don't know.
So in the evolution of the 502s, you have the 502s EP, which was like 2016.
Yes. Because
We Had To, which was like 2018. Mm-hmm. And then Could It Get Better Than This, which is 2020. Mm-hmm. So the EP had 4 songs on it, and we literally recorded it in a couple days and then released it. And anyone that knows mixing and mastering, we did not know that, and we had no one to advise us. So we actually just recorded it, got it mixed, and then posted it. We never got it mastered. It's still not mastered. It will never be mastered, and it sounds great. So that was the EP, and that was like the epitome of me knowing nothing. And then the next step was Because We Had To, where we went in and we just played everything straight through in 3 days. Mm-hmm. And Matt was there, and he knew a little bit, so it sounded a little bit better. And then Could It Get Better Than This is like, all right, we've kind of figured out a little bit what we're doing, and I think we're going to dive into that. But that one was definitely a way bigger experience.
For sure.
Yeah, Ross, we got to get that merch bottle. Eventually, the liquor bottle. That would be so cool.
Yeah, it's funny. I'm going to pop that back up. Actually, I won't. But so that it was for those of you just listening that didn't get a chance to actually watch this. There's a whiskey bottle that Ed has in the 502's shrine. That go ahead and pull that out, Ed. He has a shrine in his home, and we all have kind of our own little shadow box shrines from all the stuff we've owned amassed. Ed has the super cool stuff like this, and it says the 502s. Was that for us? How did that happen?
So this is a bottle, and if you look at the album cover of Because We Had To, I think I'm holding it. I can't remember. Yeah, it's me. I'm holding this bottle like on by my side.
Yeah, you are.
And yeah, so this bottle is actually just an idea we had, and we're like, it'd be sick. I need to hold something. What if I had a bottle? And so my friend Josh Sweet, who does like all our designs, everything like that, he's like, all right, I can make you a 502's label. So the little like Easter eggs on here, it's black and gold like the album cover. It says cool. Maitland, Florida, and then the year distilled or whatever was 1933, which is actually my grandpa's birthday or his birth year.
Oh my goodness. So, I didn't even know that. That's insane. Yeah.
We put thoughts into the little details, but you can see it's worn, it's been used, and I just have it sitting in my apartment.
What whiskey was in there? I'm assuming, no, it wasn't ours. Was it just Jack or Jim? It
was
Jim Beam and us.
something Ford Creek. I can't tell.
What?
Alford Creek.
Something like that. For you whiskey aficionados, hit us up with that.
Yeah. But yeah, I do think it'd be cool to eventually make that bottle of merch thing, but we got to get a liquor license, and that's all over the place. But,
I want to answer this question. Actually, Ed, could you answer this question again while we're here for all the new fans out there that just joined in? We got Grayson Martin asking, why 502 area code question mark?
Yeah. So it's super cool because, we just, Francis said it, Grayson said it. We released that video on the porch, and now new people are starting to come on and watch these live videos, which is awesome. And I'm always happy to explain where the name the 502s came from or comes from. So that was my childhood address growing up. Long story short, when we picked the name of the band, we were in a little bit of a rush to have something for this Battle of the Bands. And we kind of were tossing around names that were family oriented, and we settled on my address. So we picked the 502s, and we ended up winning this Battle of the Bands, playing at a pretty big music festival. And it was like, all right, well, we can't change the name now. And so luckily we liked it. But Grayson, it is also the area code for Louisville, which has nothing to do with us or the name, but that is also an area code. So you're not crazy at all.
Correct. And then shout out to John over here. Hey, John.
Well, John, that's the perfect segue. He said, because we had to, such a great album, and I can't wait to hear this next one. That segues right into what Joe wanted to.
It does. It does. We practiced this, Ed. Get on your side.
Damn it. Okay,
I know. It's hard.
Ah.
So this is the album cover. If it changes, it changes. But this is the cover to the new album. Could it get better than this? And it's grown on me. I won't lie. Initially, I was kind of like, I don't know if I like all of. I guess I'm pointing the wrong. There it is. I don't know if I like all of this, but I ended up kind of really enjoying it. And then these lines that are by Eddie. I don't know if I can point to that. I can't. So those lines that are by Eddie, we it's cool. Okay, so before we go any further, a lot of what we do in this group is really kind of self-contained. Like Josh Sweet, obviously we have a bunch of friends that do things for us, but like we kind of drafted and created a lot of this, and I think that's what makes it so much more important.
Yeah. So the story, if you want to pull it down, you probably can now. Yeah. The story behind it is like, I felt like if I was going to tell a story, my face shouldn't be blocked,
You're right. I agree.
But the story behind that album cover is, like Joe said, I think we really believe in what we're doing. And so we like to have a lot of control over what we're doing. And, I always liked it, just like Grayson and Ross. Joe had to come around to it, but Joe's a smart guy. He comes around to my good ideas. And when
it's like you and Cavalry, don't hate.
And here's the thing, Joe comes around to my good ideas, and when Joe never comes around, that means it's not a good idea. So that's the barrier of 502's good ideas, is when Joe comes around to it, and everybody else. But the idea behind it was like, we had the album on a SoundCloud playlist, and we were going to start sending it around to some like friends and stuff like that. We're like, all right, well, we know we want to have a more colorful album, more colorful wardrobe, which you guys have seen the photos, and we know we want it to be more colorful. We can't just send this out without something that has these colors. So we picked a bunch of color codes that we liked, and actually
the hex codes.
The hex codes, that's right. Yes, for all those designers out there. But we picked a bunch of these hex codes, and we just, one night I was messing around with my girlfriend and on Canva, which is like an easy editing software, and we came up with this like really basic design and slapped it on to this private playlist. And then like as we started sending the playlist around, people would be like, okay, but low key, why is that album cover so awesome? And as that developed, we were kind of like thinking like, what should the cover be? What do we need? And then it's like, all right, well, you know what? Let's just keep it super simple, and let's just do this. So let's make it look a little vintagey, but keep it real plain. And I think it's right on with what we wanted, which is funny because we spent like months after that trying to figure out what the official album cover would be, only to come back and be like, actually, this is pretty sick.
Yeah, we did so many things. We were like, we got to take another picture. We got to do this and do that. And no. Oh gosh, the comments. This is a short and sweet to the point answer. I told them that I could play the trumpet at some point. They needed a trumpet player, and I played the saxophone. And so they go, can you play the horn? And I said yes. And I played a show or two, and it was great. I kept playing after that. It was really all it was. It was a need, and then just the stars aligning, and then me finding my way into the friendship of these guys. So been like that for a minute.
It was I feel like that is, in some degree or another, the story of every member, and also probably every person that's in the 502's family. Like, just kind of found your way here, and over time, it's developed into like, this is pretty cool.
It's a
like,
family.
That's how I started. Like Joe said, he came on out of the initial need of someone to play, like Matt, Sean, Nick. Everyone has come on, and then it's just like grown and grown, and the relationships have grown. So it's been cool because none of it has been
forced or
like even intentional. Like, so it's cool to see how it's developed just across the board.
For sure. Lily over here asking.
Oh, go ahead.
Well, you release it streaming right away. Bought the pre-sale CD, but I don't have any way to play it when it comes, which is an exciting question because Ed.
Cool. So Lily's saying she bought the pre-sale of the new album, which was like a limited pre-sale we did to our existing fans. And other people will be able to grab it eventually, but it will be on streaming, but not immediately. So we'll probably release it on streaming like February of 2021, but you're still going to be able to hear it because we've put together this super cool behind the scenes experience, which I'm like ready to get into, but also no, I need to like wait a little. It's going to be like this 10-day behind the scenes experience where we're just going to give you all the music for free. Whether or not you pre-order the album, anybody can sign up for it, and you'll be able to hear it right there. You can stream it on the page. You can download it. Whatever you want to do, you'll have the music for free, and you'll be able to listen to it that way. So technically it'll be on streaming in February 2021, but you'll be able to hear it October of this year and start hearing some songs in September if you're on the email list. So
for sure.
Yeah.
So while we're talking about that new album, I want to go back and talk about the we should have practiced the hits again, but this is the track list. And when we were actually recording, this isn't anything really kind of hidden. This was posted on our story a few days obviously during the recording process and all this stuff. And I thought it was really cool looking at this. But I guess with this on the board, I kind of wanted to ask the questions. Do you have like a ritual before you go in the studio? Like, was there anything you had to prep for when you walked in there, or was it just let's go?
Just show up and let's have a good time. Okay. What kind of ritual? What kind of ritual?
Well, I've heard of some artists and some people, and maybe we'll get there. Maybe we're not there just yet. But like, I've seen somebody spend like 3 weeks in isolation prior to entering the studio, or like, they need to eat their favorite meal or do something like that before this or before that. Hey, Steven.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I think that like anyone that knows me or gets to know me through whatever, it's like, I'm not a huge believer in that kind of stuff. I think it's kind of like, all right, let's just jump in and let's go do it. We're prepared. We know the songs. We've practiced. And what's the worst that's going to happen? It sucks. And then we have to go back and like do it another day. Who cares?
Sure.
So I don't have any rituals. I don't get superstitious about that stuff. More so, I was just super excited to get in there and start making this album. It's like this whole grand sound in your head that you can put onto something physical. That people can start listening to.
And yeah, Ross, honestly, Hi There Hello, like, so You Belong, which is the last song on the track, is my favorite, like new song, but Hi There Hello is always like favorite on stage, favorite off stage. I bike a lot, so like on the 60th mile or 70th mile, whatever mile I need, like Hi There Hello is the first song I hit just to keep on going. But yeah, I think we're working on a couple things here because I'd like to play C-Song, Hold My Love.
Yeah. Well, yeah, but there's no rewrites or anything. We have a full band version of Hi There Hello, which if you guys have checked it out on Spotify, a really stripped down version and completely different feel is on Spotify on the 502's EP. But that song over the last 5 years is like turned from a guitar and a banjo and a kick drum into like a full band
orchestral series.
It's like a huge sound now, especially like when we do it live. So we took that, and it's so different sounding and so much more full sounding that we put it onto this new album with like multiple horns, all these different backing vocals, and the bones of the song are still the same, but it just sounds so much more full and so much better. But that's the only one, Ross, that is even a slight, I don't want to call it a retread, but the only one that's even like a slight, renewal. Everything else is brand new. And there's one cool Easter egg that anyone that's heard the 502's EP, I think will absolutely love, is that we actually took the
we're going to tell
intro.
Them.
I'm going to say it,
Okay, all right.
Here's my thing. I don't believe in hiding stuff, We put so much thought into this and like these little Easter eggs and ways to tie the album together.
For sure.
It's like, what am I going to do? I'm going to never tell anybody about it. It's like, no, I think it's cool. I want to tell people, So,
okay.
But we put, we took the like first 4 or 5 seconds from the EP version of Hi There Hello, where it's like, let's tell them boys 1, 2, 3, 4. We snipped that onto the front of this new album recording. And then once it kicks in, then like the new recording starts, which is pretty sick. So it's like a little throwback to the EP.
For sure.
Getting chills.
I'm getting chills too. I'm so excited. Would you say there's anything like majorly different this time besides like obviously like we've had more time to play and all this and all that, but what did you walk in this time around that you were like, we did this the first time, I'm not, or I'm definitely going to do this the second time when we go back?
Well, I think the main mistake, not mistake, but I think the main like miscalculation that we had was that because we had to like I said, we recorded that in 3 days. Like literally we went in on a Saturday morning, Memorial Day weekend, Saturday morning, 8 a.m., Saturday, Sunday. By Monday night, the album was done and we didn't go back in the studio again. Yep. And so I think, so I think like the miscalculation was that said, okay, we did it because we had to, let's do it for the second album.
Yeah. With
we'll be able to do the whole
instruments.
Yeah, it's like we'll be able to do the whole thing in 3 days. And I think we all got maybe not frustrated, but like very quickly realized that, all right, we can't do this in 3 days because it was like all these things that we'd heard and because we had to, where it's like, ooh, a horn hit or like, 12 different pieces of horn sounds here would be cool, or like all these things where it's like, how do we make it sound more full? We were able to pull that into could it get better than this? And as we're doing it, it's like, okay, well, we need that. We need that. We need that. We need a xylophone. We added a xylophone on one track.
Yeah, we had a lot of stuff, man. I don't even know.
Yeah. So I think the main difference was that we realized pretty quickly on Could It Get Better Than This that we had to be patient and we had to go back and record a couple times, which was not an easy thing for me because I'm always like,
let's go.
Let's get it done. Let's get it done and let's get this thing out. And but I think we did a good job staying patient and like really allowing songs to come,
for sure.
Which was cool too, because as things prolong, life happens. And then songs that made it onto the album weren't written until like last November. So those only made it onto the album by virtue of us being patient. So, and they're some of the better songs too. So it's pretty cool how it came together. For sure.
Also, shout out, hey Mindy, we miss you too. I hope you're well, and thank you for missing my face. So I appreciate you. And yeah, John, it's cool. That's why, if anything, that's why I love this little segment, and then the podcast that comes out of this. So again, it's not out there yet, but if you didn't get a chance to watch this, or you don't really have time to sit and watch a video, you can always just listen to us. That's floating around somewhere. I got a couple more questions for you, and we'll probably wrap up this dinner because I think we're overeating at this point.
But always overeating.
It's funny. There were so many emotions that you kind of just touched on it, like with your mentality, and you just want to get in, and you just want to go and get it done. And there were times where I remember seeing just the frustration of like, oh gosh, it's not going to be done like we wanted it to be. And there were times where you even had to talk yourself out of it and be like, it's going to be the best album of all time. Why are we stressing? And then from that, like if you just remember that feeling, and you think back to like maybe this morning or yesterday when you put the album on, because I know you did, because I know I did at some point in my day, and you just listened to it with absolute joy. Like, it's so funny seeing how it went from oh man, I don't know if this is going to be it, to this is the best album of all time. You know what I mean?
What were you going to say?
I was just going to say, what was the best part of recording for you then? And I guess with that in mind, where we're at now, you listen to the album now and everything we did, like, is there anything was like back then you hated, but now you loved?
Well, I think the funny thing with it is that sometimes I listen to it driving around in the car, and I'm just like, I can't believe that we made this, which is like a crazy sentiment. Because I didn't really grow up with music, like playing music, So sometimes it's easy for me to disconnect the fact that we made this album, and that like these are songs, that we wrote, which is pretty awesome. Yeah, but things that I don't think I dislike anything on the album. Is that question?
I guess so. Yeah, you can go whatever you think the question is. It's fine. We're doing well.
Yeah. No, I mean, I just don't. I think that the thing that we did so well was staying really patient with this album, so that there's nothing. Like I listened start to finish, and there's nothing where I'm like, "Ooh, that should have been different." Like we were so patient that anything where it was even slightly like, we fixed it. Correct. It was like if anybody had a sentiment that they maybe didn't like it or didn't like a part, we fixed it, and like we made it so that all 6 of us can listen through the album and just have no hesitancies, which is why I'm so excited for everyone to hear it, because it's seriously, we call it the best album of all time amongst ourselves. And obviously we say that with like jest and love in our hearts. But I really do think it's a fantastic album that is going to bring a lot of joy and happiness into people's life.
Sure. I like this comment from Sherlyn, which I bring it up and I wanted to post it because there is a line in this where it's like, bring your backup double A's if you want to keep my pace, and that's it. So here we are. That's perfect.
There you go, Sherlyn.
So my last question, and then we can just look in the comments and then have dessert and then do the dishes. But Mr. Ed Isola, is it true that the more legs you show in the studio, the more leg you show in the studio, the better the album gets? Can you answer that question?
Absolutely. And might I add that is a great looking leg.
Yeah.
And a great looking pasty thigh.
Yes.
Is the other thing that I would like. And, I think that
working out at this point, right? These legs were workout legs at this point.
Those are pretty toned legs at that point. But I definitely think that amount of thigh shown in the studio equates to amount of album. And for anyone that's curious, you just saw the photo of literally my entire thigh. When we recorded, because we had to, I didn't show any thigh, and that turned out to be a great album. So you can just kind of extrapolate how much thigh is going to make this how much better than because we had to.
It's incredible. That's the only photo from the archives that I pulled for this, and it's because in the experience, I'm sure as we move into the actual obtaining of this album, you'll see more and more behind the scenes of things we shot and did back there.
Absolutely. Well, and to tie into what Joe just said real quick, all this kind of stuff that we're talking about right now. Oh yeah, look at those thighs. I don't know what games are that thigh, but all the stuff we're kind of talking about, like the behind the scenes and like talking about, hey, how'd the album come together? What do you feel about this and this and this? This is part of anybody that was around a couple years ago. We did the party, which was like, where this bottle came from. And we're doing a bigger, better version of that. This time we're calling it Camp Feels Good. Correct. And there will be, tons of details coming within the next 2. Oh, do we have the breaking news thing going?
Yeah, you want me to put that back up?
Oh yeah, put that up. Ross, here's the breaking news.
We're here. It's happening.
We didn't plan it, but here's the breaking news.
No.
So I didn't know we were going to talk about this. But so anyone who was around, we did the party a couple of years ago, and it was this 10-day experience behind the scenes where you got one song a day, and essentially the idea is we want to experience the album with you, and like we still want to do that. So we said, hey, sign up. Day 1, we'll send you the first track, and we'll go live on Facebook. We'll talk about it. You get the audio, the lyrics, behind the scenes videos, like little interview segments like this, where it's like, hey, what's that song about? How did this come about? That kind of stuff. Naturally over years, the last couple of years, you learn things, and now we've built that into what we're calling Camp Feels Good, which is obviously spun off of It Feels Good to Be Me. And the idea is, look, we've all been a little bit locked up. Here's a virtual vacation where we can all get away together. We're going to do like activities and stuff like ghost stories, campfire sing-alongs,
games.
All types of games and stuff like that. So it's going to be super cool. And we're going to be, I guess this is the first time we've publicly acknowledged we're doing that, but we're going to be releasing the sign up for it within the next couple weeks.
Ooh.
There's the breaking news. And
fan,
talk for a second while I grab the passport.
Yeah, do that. So new fans, old fans across the board. It's really cool. Again, we were talking about earlier how we do a lot of things in-house now. Canva, we create our own designs, we create our own like stuff. So the passport that Ed's pulling out to show you guys, which we showed, I think maybe on the first family dinner live stream. We're gonna show again here, but we put so much love, effort, and work into this. It was like me, Ed, the whole band. We're just caucusing about how to do this. Show it to him, Ed. Give it to him.
So here's the idea, right? We got Camp Feels Good. And again, this is going to be a free thing. It's free. We aren't going to give the album to everyone for free. And when you sign up, it's like you get a passport and a wristband. So this is the passport, which we're going to physically mail out to people. All we're going to have is like, pay $2 in shipping so you can get this passport for free. So you get the passport and we printed up like festival-esque wristbands. So let me get it on this. It says the 502s Can't Feel Good wristband. So like I said, we wanted to do this way bigger and better than we did it the first time around. And Can't Feel Good, we're going to literally mail this stuff out so people can have this before it even starts. So the wristband, the passport, which like is pretty sick. We'll detail this all in the future, but I'm getting excited. We have like the cover. We got a place for people to put their names. We have a welcome letter. We have like literally, let's see what else. A camp itinerary for the 10 days of the experience that are going on, including like the activities. We got photos of us. We got lyrics to every song on the album. We went a little overboard, honestly. We put in games just because we thought it was fun. So there's a 502s based crossword puzzle on the things that you hear in
word search. Awesome.
Batted haircuts. And then, this is like a lyric cross word search. So pretty sick. And then once we get back to touring, we put in a place where we can stamp these and sign these at shows. So we're all going to have, all the band members are going to have like passport stamps. So it shows, we'll stamp everybody's passport and it'll become like a little collector's type thing. So
it's like if you go to Disney or Epcot and they have the drink around the world, or the you get the little passport thingy, or whatever. It was like the Dora the Explorer thing. You remember that? Or Mission Impossible, where you had to like see every station. It's just like
absolutely. So I don't know. Literally, is anyone as excited about this as I am? Because I'm about to lose my mind just picking this up in my hand again. I'm like, this is unbelievable. So we got the passport, we got this. I also got bright orange neon envelopes to stamp and send it. So it's amazing. And I can't wait. Again, we're going to give this stuff to you guys for free. I think we have like 300 copies of this printed. And it's like first come, first serve, 300 copies. It's free. All we're going to say is pay like $2 or whatever in shipping. And you can have it. Like we printed them not to sell. We printed them so that people can have something to like be a part of this experience and like make it better than the party. Have it be like a hard copy thing where you can write your name, you can write down the date of the start and have like an itinerary. So
and you can bring it to a show like we want you to, so I can stamp it with my kangaroo Joey.
Yeah, it's a long-term thing too, because we're like, imagine in 5 years when you got a stamp from 2020 and it's like 2025, 502s are headlining Red Rocks.
Gosh, that's right.
You're just like, look at this thing. So,
yes, sir.
Well, good stuff. We were planning to go 15 minutes and we went 39.
Yeah, so, we did great today. We did so good. That's fine. That's more work for me, honestly. That's the only difference is that, again, we keep things in-house. So when you get to see this or hear this later, it's going to be me and listening to our voices for 40 minutes.
Good stuff. Oh, last thing I wanted to circle back on was Ross said, oh, this is cool. I'm in the user side, so I can see all the comments.
Yes.
Nice. I wasn't the last couple weeks.
Upgrades.
So, I feel like Alcatraz could be in live sets forever, if not on an album. Definitely agree with that, Ross. And I don't know when, but we definitely have plans for a live album where Alcatraz will be done justice. So just noted on that.
I'm actually very excited for that. There's It's funny when we're on tour sometimes and we have really long drives, I'll put on like a live just recording of us, and we'll just hear like an older version of everything, and it ends up being a really cool experience for us just to listen to what we used to play versus what we play now. So when that comes out, that'll be cool.
Absolutely. Last thing Sherlyn said.
Oh, we're both clicking.
How do you think of all this? And honestly, no idea.
No idea.
We just kind of we've been working out. And we get together and we're like talking, and the next thing you know, all these ideas are just like spinning. And it's like, hey, you know, it'd be sick. What if we printed a passport? And you know what else would be sick? What if we printed a wristband?
Yeah.
You know what else would be sick? What if we just gave it away for free because this is supposed to be fun? And that's kind of how things happen. We come up with a crazy idea and then we just try to make it happen. And sometimes it works out.
I can't wait.
Oh man. Good stuff. Fantastic. Well, thank you everyone for tuning in to whatever episode this was, episode 4.
Episode 4.
I think there will be some sort of outro here where Joe records himself burping, I think is what.
I think, no, it wasn't me burping. It was like you start the dishes with a towel. I don't remember. There's soap involved.
Okay. All right. Sick. Well, we will be on next week again. And this seems like it was a much better time for people. At 5:10 or so. So we'll probably stick on at 5:10 in the evening so we can talk. So love you all. Super excited for the next 2 weeks. And thanks for all the love that the Feels Good to Be Me video's gotten. Like it's already over 250,000 views, which is just insanity. You know, we filmed that on our porch that we wallpapered, and who knows? Yeah, maybe eventually we'll get some new lights here, but probably not.
No, we'll get there eventually.
All right.